Hello and welcome everybody to the latest edition of the Jam and Cheese Show. The grand final's locked in, but more importantly, Cheese, how are you?
Yeah, the body's been through hell in the last 8 days. But I'm getting through it now. So it was a big couple of nights. Actually, I had a big night a couple of nights ago when I was watching the Warriors game. I went over to Matty John's house, and then leaving Matty John's house, I was trying to find a pub to go to, and me and Cooper ended up going past Greg Alexander's house, and there was a big party on, so we just invited ourselves and walked straight in. Turns out it was Brandy's wife's 50th we went to. Ended up there till 5 a.m, so it was perfect. And I just walked back to Maddie's house and fell asleep in the spare bed.
Nice. And you have a sleepover there?
Yeah. I've slept there a few times now.
What is it appropriate to have sleepovers?
Well, at my friend Cooper John's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, mate, it's out of Manly. I'm not coming all the way back in Bondi on a drunk cab ride home. That's terrible. 45 minutes.
Yeah, but you get to wake up in your own bed.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll wake up and Trish would have brekkie ready. So.
Well, there's an advantage, but
it was,
I don't know. I reckon you might be too old for a sleepover.
Righto, Jimmy.
Yeah. Look, I get it. I understand it. But, yeah.
Probably too old to just be walking in someone's house because the lights are just blasting too.
No, that's a more appropriate age to be like capitalizing on the situation. Like your situational awareness there is fantastic. Oh, there's lights on. Let's go.
I had to get Cooper to talk me into it. I was like, bro, what's the chance that we're going to walk in here and he's just going to go, what the fuck are you doing here? He's like, yeah, that's a possibility, but I know his son, so we should be all right. Turns out he was a great guy about it, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, when you've got the right amount of alcohol. Yeah, come on.
Yeah. There's some few people chewing the ear off, though. So, yeah.
Oh, well. Sounds like you had a fun weekend. Are you? Where are you on the coming out of the trough?
Yesterday I was in a big hurt locker. Went to the North Sydney Bears grand final, and then I couldn't go again. So I had a few beers there, middies, and then I had to go to book a hotel and sleep at the hotel.
So you had another sleepover?
Well, it was not really a sleepover; it was a hotel.
Why did you go to a hotel?
Because my roommate was in the grand final, so I knew he was going to be partying like it was 1960s, and I needed to make a responsible decision so I could make this podcast in good, healthy condition.
I'm glad to see we're high on the priority list, and we influence your decision making in a positive way.
Thank you. Appreciate
it. Did he pay for the hotel?
I paid for the hotel.
So you made this, I suppose if you're 50-50 on the rent.
That's what I wouldn't say we're 50-50.
What's the rent ratio?
I reckon like 70-30.
In which favour?
Not mine.
So you pay 30?
No, 70. It's not favoursome. But
so equality
I've got my little brother there, so I've got to pretty much. Yeah.
So it's a three-way split, and you're covering 66%.
We're going to go 66%, yeah.
Yeah.
And I look.
And you. Where did your brother sleep?
Well, in his bed usually. Yeah.
I know, but did he come to the hotel or did he stay?
No. So I told him to take my cat to his girlfriend's house, so the cat doesn't get interrupted by all the partying. She's sick at the moment.
Hang on. Did your brother go to the party or not? Or he went? He just.
No, I rang him.
So there's three
home.
people, right? That live in the house.
Yeah.
One's in a hotel. One's took the cat to the girlfriend's house.
Yeah.
And then one's just gonna party on.
Yeah.
I'm still a bit more mystified by your brother. Why didn't he want to party? Why did he want to take the cat?
Because I'm his boss. So if I say take the cat to your girlfriend's house, he takes the cat to his girlfriend's house.
Take that pussy cat.
Yeah. Get her out. She's sick at the moment.
Why?
I had to take her to the vet the other day. It cost me $4,000. So.
$4,000?
Yeah.
What for?
Nah, just like X-rays and ultrasounds and all this stupid shit.
Is she gonna?
And then they kept her there for 4 days, and then I just got there
in the vet.
Yeah, got there.
So it's like a hospital.
Picked her up, and that was the bill. I was like, fuck. It's like $1,000 a day to keep the cat at the vet. Mate, it's like fucking $300 a night for a human to stay at a hotel. Oh, at a fucking hospital.
Did they give a treatment and stuff?
Well, I would hope so, Jimmy. I don't know what they did. I wasn't there. But now they're ringing me, asking me what her poo looks like all the time. It's so weird.
It's what's weird, the phone call or the poo?
The phone call.
Because I think both.
I was on my way to the grand final and it says, like, how's your cat's poo looking? I was like, fucking...
Don't know, just...
They're brown.
Yeah. So is the cat going to be okay, or is it on the mend?
It's going to be okay.
That's good news.
Yeah.
So the 4 people that live there.
It was only like $600 to put it down, but...
So you're in that dilemma. So it's financial dilemma of, do I A, pay for these surgeries and it costs $4,000 and counting, or B, option B is
send it to heaven quicker.
600.
Yeah, 600 it was.
I
asked, is that bad? I wanted to put it down.
No, I think it's a mature conversation. It's an adult conversation.
Yeah.
Not you're not going to pussyfoot around. See what I did there?
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I actually had a real bad moment. It was obviously very emotional. And I was watching her in the bath. She couldn't really walk, and I started bawling my eyes out. Obviously, it was on the back end of a couple of big nights. I was a very emotional lad.
Yeah, just shattered.
I was sitting in the end of the bath just crying because she just couldn't really walk. I was like, shit. What does my life come to?
Let's get into the football talk, because we've gone round and around. What do you reckon? Best 2 teams?
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see that probably the most consistent and best teams do end up playing against each other.
Only split by points differential. Played each other twice. 1 win to Penrith, 1 win to the Broncos. I like how they match up the different styles. Like Penrith want to really grind.
Yeah.
High completion, low errors. Just go through the front door, and then when the shift's on, it's on. Versus the Brisbane Broncos that just play with that speed, the punch through the middle.
What's the best attack versus the best defence in my eyes? Like, I reckon Brisbane's attack's probably the most potent.
Multiple
just so many threats around the field. Yeah.
It's so interesting how this battle's gonna pan out. The middle 3 versus the middle 3. So we've got Leota, Fisher Harris, and then the deception and skill set of Isaiah Yeo versus Carrigan, Flegler, Payne-Haas. Like that matchup. From an attacking point of view, I think, and this is strange considering Isaiah Yeo is on the other end, I reckon it's like a 95 to Brisbane out of 100, and it's like a 94 Penrith. You know, like it's not much between them. But then Penrith have got Lenu off the bench, which I think then makes me think that they're stronger, because Broncos don't have that genuine game changer off the bench.
Yeah.
I reckon Spencer Lanu's game this week is going to need to be, in his last game in Panthers colours, is going to need to be huge. Yeah,
it will be. I reckon that Melbourne were doing a great job against Penrith's forward pack in like the first 15 minutes. And then when Nelson pushed over Nathan Cleary, I think they both went, fuck this. Like, that's our leader. And it's going to be a tough game, because those two have had so much big games together. Like Paddy and Tommy Flegg and Payne-Haas, this is their first grand final together. But they're well equipped enough for it. But I think just the experience with that forward pack of the Panthers. And for me, the only thing I find hard for the Broncos is, you know how Reece Walsh threw that intercept? Like, you can't do that against Penrith. Like, if 6 points for them was more than, 6 points for another team. Because they'll just go 5 through the middle, kick it until you make a mistake the whole time, defend their butts off. Like, those errors can be costly. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the weekend's games, and I thought Melbourne blew some chances. I don't think Brisbane missed those chances.
Yeah.
But then I look at the Broncos, and they allowed the Warriors to get ahead. And I don't think Penrith allow Broncos back into the game, which again, it's just that like, well, which...
I heard the commentator say something crazy. Is like in 82 games that Penrith have led at halftime, they've won 81 of them.
Yeah, they don't give up leads because they choke you out.
Stupid stat.
They choke you out.
Yeah,
like it's like that how an anaconda kills its prey, where they wrap around, and then every time you like,
take a breath,
and they just suck a little bit more life out of you, suck a little bit, and you're fighting for freedom, and you just can't get it because, like we say, like they've got the tactics that can negate what Haas, Flegler, and Carrigan do because of the positions that Cleary will put them in, and then they choke you out in defence. Like they're very good at slowing the ball down, slowing the ball speed. Then they get their line speed, and you can't go anywhere. So the Broncos, if they shift the ball at the right time, they'll get it.
If any team can beat them, it's the Broncos. That's my thought. Like it's the way they attack. They just move faster than every other team. Like they just look faster. Even on the weekend, they just look so much quicker than the Warriors. Yeah, and again, I'm thinking back to this time last year. And I thought, Parramatta have got a chance because of their history against Panthers. They were a team that knew how to get the job done. Brisbane have proved that this year, but it was a long time ago. But then on the big game, on the big day, Penrith know how to get it done. A big thing for Broncos will be Adam Reynolds kicking. Being able to put Penrith in spots that they're not used to coming out of. Well, that's what Moses does.
Yeah, that's why he does so well. The long kicking game of Reynolds. So I reckon.
Who are you going for?
Look, I'd probably prefer the Broncos to win. Like this new team on the block. I also Herbie Farnworth's an Englishman. I'd really like to see him do well. I actually had a fair bit. Well, I shouldn't say it's a weird story. Like so, when I was playing at the Bulldogs, we stayed in Brisbane, played a game in Brisbane, and one of the lads was like, "Oh, Jimmy, there's an English guy wanting to see you." I'm like, "All right." He says he knows you. I'm like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, going to the hotel foyer, and it's like this guy that he was like one of the old team managers from like way back in the day at like Lancashire. His name was Brian Foley, and he's like, "Oh, I've got this like me nephew with me, Herbie Farnworth." I'm like, "All right, okay, like good." Like just met him, had a bit of a chat with him, like, good. He's like, "Oh, he doesn't know what to do." But I think he was maybe like 15, 16 at the time.
Is he a big boy?
No,
he's a big lad.
And he was like, "Oh, I'm thinking about coming over. What should I do?" And you kind of like, I don't really know like what advice to give you. But it's kind of like, I saw something in him.
How to give a 15-year-old advice.
Like what's the right thing to say? Because you don't want to mess up the career. But he made a choice to come out here, and I was like, what he's managed to achieve through dedication.
You would have taught him the old bloody baby oil on the legs. Lather it up, boy. When you get over here, lather it up.
Just keep those legs nice and shiny. But probably preferentially the Broncos. But
I mean, I don't really mind. I don't have a side, but like I like sort of witnessing like great things happen. Like Messi wanted him to win the World Cup. I didn't support Argentina at all, and then sort of like knowing those like Fisher and Moses Leota and playing alongside them at Kiwis, like seeing them do something great, win 3 in a row would be pretty bloody cool. I reckon.
I just don't know how Penrith keep doing it.
Neither do I, because a lot of the times this year they've played nowhere near the strongest team, and they just get it done.
It just shows that their system is stronger than the individual.
Well, I've watched a few of the boys do potties and talk about, and a lot of the time it's like, what do you like? They get asked, what do you want to achieve, and they always say, I want to be part of the best team ever. And I think like Ivan Cleary's just instilled that like like we want to be the best team ever. It's never the individual accolade. It's the best team ever.
It's an interesting psyche. Yeah.
But yeah, they're going a long way to do it. I was actually Craig Gow was at that party, Brandy's party, and he was so proud of that Penrith team and what they've done. So they've definitely done it. And even just hearing old what's the Triple M guy? Yeah, MG was there. Jeez, he's throwing me around.
Was he?
Yeah. No, Gerds. The way he spoke about them, like they're doing fucking such good things for their team.
Well, I think both teams as well, they connect well with their community. You can see there's like that identity piece of like the Panthers, like all pretty much the whole squad living in the area, connection to the community, all behind them, realise who they are. And then it's the same with the Broncos now as well. They've got that connection piece with...
They've got swagger, man, the Broncos.
Well, both teams have that little bit of swagger and that identity about we don't care if you like us, but we go and win.
Yeah.
And that's important. It's a big reason why they've been so successful. Geez, obviously it didn't define the game, but there was a couple of shocking forward passes.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst that I've seen in recent memory from Reece Walsh. Like that was...
It was pretty bad. Does that mean Adam G's the grand final roof?
I think so. But what do we do, if anything?
I don't. Honestly, it's one of the. It's like that forward pass was that bad. It could be game defining. It could bring a new rule into our game because there's a pretty big. Like I don't think if the Warriors get the ball back, then they like probably win or anything. Because the Brisbane were obviously the better team, but it's they're not. That goes from them being 12 down with 30 to go to 18 down, and then feeling a little bit upset at the ref, feeling like things aren't going your way, taking away a bit of confidence.
Completely deflated them.
Oh,
like I don't know if they come back anyway, but it deflated them. And and then there was a forward pass given against Wade Egan that wasn't a forward pass.
Yeah.
That was
just the way he plays square.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what there's talk of like a bunker whisperer that just goes, Jerry, that was forward.
Yeah.
And he goes back. But then...
Mate, imagine being in the bunker and you know how you have to confirm the try. How do you press the try confirm button after watching that?
Yeah. But like...
Could you sleep at night? Try confirmed.
The only thing is, and the argument against that, I've actually thought quite a lot about this, is what it does, it takes away that decision-making from the referee themselves. So if you're a referee in the back of your mind and you're going, I'm sweet, I've got the bunker covering my arse for the quote-unquote howler, I'll just let everything go. Yeah. Until there is a howler. So if it's 50, all the 50-50s will be allowed to be let go because it's like, well, I'm going in with the decision-making idea of I've got this backup and we can't afford to do it. So the bunker gets the clanger. But then it's like, I reckon, you solve one problem. Yes, you get rid of the Reece Walsh style forward pass. But any others, they will just be allowed, and it will actually make the situation worse, and the forward pass gets missed more often than not. It will become more common.
Yeah, I don't think they need to change the rules or anything, but they just need to be a little bit better.
Yeah, well it's just the referees need to get the decisions right. Yeah, that's like, and what was
the excuse? Like, was it because Reece Walsh was too fast and the touchy got left behind?
Possibly, yeah. Possibly, but I think we're playing with fire if we think this idea of the bunker going, hey, that was forward, because, or hey, that's offside. Like I'd like to give more autonomy to the referee to say he or she can make a decision. It's backed up by the bunker in try-scoring situations, and just leave it at that. Otherwise, does the bunker watch the game on Eagle Cam and say, well, they're clearly offside. What's clearly offside? 2 meters? like you'd know playing in the game that on an edge, teams leave early.
Yeah.
And they'd be at 1.5 meters offside.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get penalised, right?
Yeah.
But then if the bunker's going to interfere, 1.5 meters is clearly like way offside.
Way offside.
Like, do they interfere and say, well, they're offside, or the ball strip? Oh no, you've clicked. Like, where does it stop?
Yeah.
And then the referee just has, basically, they're just there to
blow the whistle.
They're
blow the whistle for the bunker.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And I guess, look, it's not easy for people to accept. And I know what I was like as a player, blowing up deluxe if that happened against me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, our game needs to stand for something. And I think it needs to stand for, yes, we use technology at the appropriate time. But until we've got the available technologies to say, bing, forward pass, instant, through proven technology, not through another human being's interpretation.
Yeah.
Because at the naked eye, 2 people didn't think that was forward. I think everybody else in the ground did, but 2 people didn't, and then that's their interpretation.
Yeah.
So, as long as there's human beings making decisions, like they're gonna be
There's
different.
gonna be error.
I think looking back, they would admit that's an error, but
there was probably 10 forward passes in that game that we didn't catch, but that one was huge. That one was so bad.
it was ridiculous. But anyway, let's.
It was so bad it's laughable.
Well, let's hope. And we can hope. I don't like using hope because it's not an effective strategy. But let's hope that we're not talking about referees this time next week.
No.
Because if we are, it would be a really disappointing way to decide what could potentially be one of the all-time greatest grand finals. And I'm saying that, I don't say that lightly, considering some of the games that we've witnessed over the years, especially the last one that Brisbane Broncos were involved in. Like, this has got all the ingredients for something special. We don't need that sour taste of a bunker or referee decision or indecision overshadowing it. But
I'm sure they'll get it right.
It promises to be a great game. Who are you? Are you thinking Panthers?
What I'm thinking, Panthers.
Who do you think? Yeah, you think Panthers?
I'm just thinking that Broncos have the best attack in the comp, like attacking threat wise, but Penrith have the best defense, and defense is king.
It is, yeah. But look, I think.
But I'm not saying I wouldn't be able to tell you who's going to win. Just my gut would tell me Penrith.
Yeah, I like what you're saying about the gut, and I've got my gut's telling me Broncos, but it's shaping up to be a classic. Mate, it's
my
been
guts. It's not looking good.
Mate, you need some. Mate, you need some AG1. Get
What's
some
that?
of that. You know AG1, the athletic greens.
Oh yeah,
Every day, mate. That'll fix up your gut problems. Get on some positive
You
routines.
said
now.
81.
Get some AG1. Let's get into the season award. Actually, before we get into our season awards, New Zealand, your chance of playing?
Chance, I got to see the surgeon on Tuesday, but I don't know.
Not looking good.
Nah, it's a tough ask. I just got to get the body right for the season coming up, and
Because
I've got to
take the screws out.
Yeah, because one of the screws is actually going into my joint still, so it doesn't feel good when you move it around. And I would like to get that sorted before getting into preseason, then getting surgery, and then missing a month of preseason. But we'll see what the surgeon says. He might not have to do it, but yeah, I'm just looking forward to trying to get the body right for the next season coming up.
Yeah, so it's been actually really good news on an injury front. The knee injury that's been hampering Cameron. The knee injury that's been hampering Cameron Munster. He said he's going to put his hand up for Kangaroos, which, for me is a big statement from him, because I do enjoy my international football.
Yes.
But anyway, we'll get on to the season awards. So far, Coach of the Year.
I've got Andrew Webster. I just think, the Warriors didn't really, obviously they got Sean Johnson, but they didn't really change their lineup that much. And we all thought Sean Johnson was well past his time. And what he did with the roster that was pretty much already there, that's incredible. I think they came 14th last year.
Yeah, I think so.
And they finished top 4 this year. So
yeah, for me, he's he's actually had to coach.
Yeah,
like, you know, Cleary and Walters, they know they've got like super talented teams.
Yeah,
and there's a lot that goes into coaching. Like they need those leaders. They need Ivan Cleary and they need Kevin Walters.
Yeah,
but there's not as much that's gone into the job that's been done at the Warriors, in my opinion. Now, Cleary could go and win 3 in a row. That's greatness. Walters could have turned this team around into champions. That's greatness. But for me, the actual coaching that's been involved at the Warriors, and this isn't anything against what's being achieved at Penrith and Brisbane, but for me, what Webster's done there, like nobody saw this coming. No, like people were almost a bit like, Webster's taking the Warriors job. Like what?
Everyone was thinking RIP. We're Andrew Webster's coaching career. That was what everyone was thinking.
Yeah, and it was just like, well, like they've gone with this guy from Penrith, and he'd been around the Tigers a bit. It's like, I don't know, but mate, what a job he's done.
Yeah,
like it's phenomenal. And you know what? Like I was at like we speak about.
He's a pretty cool looking dude, I reckon.
Have
you met him?
No, I haven't actually. But we speak about the Broncos' connection to the community, the Panthers' connection to the community. He's got the connection to the country.
Yeah, he actually does. Oh, I love it.
He's been good. I was in Brisbane for the game on Saturday. I'm walking Caxton Street. Some of the Warriors fans had taken over like one of the pubs. Mate, it was so funny. They were on this balcony singing, "Ooh, ah, up the waz, up the waz." They just kept going. It was brilliant, mate. They were singing. Felt like I was back home in like Premier League. It was the atmosphere was amazing and good on them. But yeah, I'm with you with Webster. What about Rookie of the Year?
Dream Buller from the West Tigers. I think he come in and I actually had no idea who he was. Never heard anything about him, and he's probably their best player. I'm not sure who won their Player of the Year, but he was probably their best player of the year.
Yeah,
Uppy? Yeah,
Uppy Coruscant. Matt, it's hard to go past you on that. Obviously, Jacob Preston. I don't know if he's technically. Oh yeah, Jacob Preston. He can't win because of suspension, but like he cleaned up at the Bulldogs presentation night for all.
That was
the
like
awards.
our Siwa Wong.
Yeah,
he cleaned up.
Yeah,
he got like 3 awards, and there was 5.
Yeah. So for me, I think Jacob Preston obviously can't because of the suspension, but like what that kid's come from nowhere, and you know, playing in a position that is tough to get noticed in a team that's struggled.
Yeah.
What?
No, never mind. I'm listening, but
you almost like sat up like you got.
No, because I seen the Dally M fullback of the year. Reece Walsh wasn't even nominated.
Suspended.
That's dog shit.
Yeah, if you get a suspension of 3 games or more, I think then.
But you're done,
I
gone.
think so. You can't. You're not qualified.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty shit.
Power brokers. Maybe you could
So he can't get Dally M if he was winning Dally M.
No, unfortunately not. The buy of the year.
Reece Walsh. 450k for probably the best fullback in the comp. That's a pretty decent buy.
Not bad. And all the future success. That's why I've got Reece Walsh over Johnson. Yeah. Johnson's been good for this year, and he'll probably be good for next year as well.
Yeah.
But Reece Walsh, you know, you might get a decade minimum out of him. He's been, mate, he's so quick.
He's so quick.
You see that the second Billy Walters, the second Billy Walters try he set up?
Yeah.
Mate,
what the fuck's Billy Walters been on? Busted ass until what? Where are you, Billy? You busted ass. What the fuck? He's just come out of nowhere.
He has been good, and especially since they were looking at trying to sign Ben Hunt. I think he's picked his game up. He's not kicked stones, or allegedly trying to sign Ben Hunt. But yeah, storyline of the year. What have you got for that?
I've got the Warriors. Just the bounce back they've had. The way they've united the whole country. The All Blacks been going shit over there. But yeah, there's a lot to learn with that and a lot to love about it for the whole year. Yeah, all my mates are so proud of them, and just the whole country just got around them, and not really a huge rugby league fan base, but now I reckon they made the New York Times. I seen that. They had a write-up on saying there might be another New Zealand football outfit that's not rugby union taking over. New York Times.
New York Times. You know you've made it. Yeah. It has been incredible. I've got a little bit different storyline of the year. Holbrook being sacked mid-season and Des Hasler taking over. Bizarre. I didn't see it coming. And that's why, for me, headline of the year, Des works in mysterious ways and he likes to keep things under wraps. But that, for me, was like a massive shock to see Holbrook go and Des come in. Who's your Dally M?
SJ Swan-Johnson.
Yeah, me too.
I think he wins it comfortably too.
Yeah, I think all the talk of like Payne Haas, unfortunately Payne Haas, he's got too much competition within his own ranks to win it. Where Johnson doesn't, with all due respect to some of those Warriors players. It, like, the Warriors win, which they have been doing, it's usually because of Johnson.
I'll be interested to see who wins fullback of the year.
There's only three. Who's up
It's Dylan
today?
Edwards, Tedesco, Kalen Ponga.
Surely Ponga.
Yeah, I think he does win it because there's too much competition at that Penrith thing. Teddy might, but I don't know. I reckon Kalen won like 6 man of the matches in a row.
It would be Ponga for sure. If it goes off votes, like Newcastle's run, he was massive in that. All right, anyway, thanks for that, Cheese. We'll get into fans' feelings now. Thanks to Tuies. How do you feel? Feel like a Tuies or two? Even though you may be a bit distant.
Maybe not today, but tomorrow, geez, I might
have a couple tonight, actually. Take the edge off. 2 Tuies.
I actually took a few of the platinum ones home the other day.
I know. I did notice they'd gone out the fridge. But that's all right. Sharing's
They were
caring.
yummy.
All right, let's get into it.
Fan feelings.
Nothing more than
How do you feel?
All right, this is from Luke Young on Instagram. What club needs the biggest roster overhaul this off-season? Well, I know the Bulldogs are having a big roster overhaul, so...
I think we just got rid of 9 players as well.
You know, a lot of teams do. It's a good question, but it's kind of difficult to do in the off season.
Yeah.
It's not really off season. Like, it's kind of a bit of a misconception that you have this off season overhaul. Like,
like you sign everyone in the off season.
yeah. Like most of the
work's put in throughout the season.
Yeah, like most rosters would be minimum like 20, and there'd be people that are signed that just for whatever reason haven't been announced yet. It's actually this off-season roster overhaul doesn't really exist. The good clubs are planning well in advance, and the only time like a roster overhaul happens is maybe a reaction to some underperformance. I think, which obviously can happen, or if a Smokey comes on the market, which again will probably happen within the off-season. There's always players falling out with coaches and teammates and all that sort of jazz. So, but the Bulldogs are having a big overhaul. I think we'll see plenty. I think we'll see action at the Roosters. Personally, Cheese, I know you're in the room and maybe can or can't comment, but I think we'll see some movement there.
Well, there's 9 gone, so there's 9 coming.
Yeah.
Spencer Leniu, Dominic Young, welcome.
They're 2 big players to come in.
Welcome.
You might be getting. I've heard you might be getting Luke Thompson as well, because Justin Holbrook's going there, isn't he? So, and he worked with him at St Helens, so
yeah, I wouldn't have a clue.
Makes sense. No, you just play dumb. Don't worry about it. All right, next question. Andy Gaskell 5571 on Instagram. What's the most hostile ground you've ever played at? As in fans being hostile to you.
Um,
Have you ever been at a hostile ground?
Yeah, well, I got that Shark Park. I got sprayed living daylights out of. And I bit back.
Did you?
I got 7 for 10, and then someone said something to me, and I turned around and walked back, and then the second grabbed me. So yeah, and I've seen when Cam Smith got sent for 10, they sprayed the shit out of him. Brookie was pretty bad because they got that like cage you walk out of.
Oh, yes.
So they can just stand there and bang the cage.
It's
and
a bit. It is. You know what? I hope we don't get rid of that. Or I hope a fan doesn't do something stupid, and then that goes, because kind of like that. I always enjoyed those.
They're like
banging on the door, Mike.
Yeah.
I remember playing in England. We had some hostile grounds there where, like,
sure.
The fields are a lot smaller. The grounds are on top of you. You go back to receive the kickoff. You're standing on the in-goal line. There's like maybe 1.5 meters before the fan wall, before the wall where the fans are, and they're pretty quick to tell you what they think of you. Yeah. I was like, oh, you saying you know my mum? Or like, yeah, Graham, you're Scouse prick. I remember Castleford, you're Scouse bat. I'm like, mate, you're from Cass. Like, you're putting shit on me for where I'm from. Like, look around, buddy. Look, or, you've come in your jeans and your jersey. I felt like being like
his cousin.
Like, that's. I reckon that's the best top that you've got. Like, and you're putting shit on me for where I'm from. Like, what, are you disillusional? Like, you just
Scouse. What does Scouse mean?
Means you're from Liverpool. Like,
Liverpool.
Saying like you've got I'm like, you fucking numpty. Or like, you're shit, you fucking do this, you dirty. But I'm like, and then we'd score. And then just walk back with a smile. You smug bastard. Like, sorry, mate. Like, and then always go over. Like, to be fair, all league fans are pretty good. Always give them a clap and like, yeah. But just some of the things that they tell you. Oh God,
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was good. You know what? In a strange way, kind of miss getting abused verbally. Kind of a nice feeling in a weird way.
Someone's thinking about you.
Yeah. And mate, when I've been at footy games, I've like hailed abuse at people. But it's weird that like psychology of, right, I'm here on a piece of grass. Okay. I'm wearing my St. Helens shirt or Bulldogs or Dragons. And then there's like a little wall. And then there's some people that have paid an entrance fee to come and watch a sporting occasion.
Yeah.
And then just because of those set of circumstances, they feel I can say like almost anything.
Yeah.
But if we were to be like in a street or like in a supermarket or a cafe or any other social setting.
Hey, mate, how you going, mate?
There's 95% of that conversation doesn't happen or that interaction. It's so weird, and I do that as well.
Yeah,
but like, you fucking. But then I wouldn't ever say that. It's funny how people behave in different ways.
Yep.
But that's just some thought.
Well, I'm glad we don't say the things we would on the field.
No.
Outside of the Premier League field.
Me too. All right, Brad Seymour on Instagram. What is a grand final celebration like, and what's the best story you have while celebrating a grand final win?
They're pretty good.
I guess it's kind of just.
Mine was a little bit different though, because I was stuck in isolation, so we played on the Sunday, flew back Sunday night, and then we were in Twin Waters Hotel the whole time. But it was even better because no one was like, no sponsors or anything were allowed to come party with us. And I just reckon that was pretty funny. Me and Munster drank from the Sunday till like the Wednesday morning. And every day Craig would run past and we'd be on the balcony, same balcony for the whole entire day. And we'd just try to peg bottles at him, cans at him. And in his defense, he didn't get angry at us once. He just laughed it off. But it was
Good on him.
Here he comes again, boys. Munster's here.
So he's out running a couple of days after the grand final.
100%. Bad man. He'll be running fucking every day if he want to.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Well,
To be fair, I could run every day if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But no, he's a bit of a madman like that. First one of pre-season training, like in there on the rower.
Sets a precedent.
Yeah.
That. And
Get a life.
yeah, I know what you mean, but some people are just tapped a bit differently,
He is
aren't
tapped, yeah.
When
He's not as angry as you think he is.
gets fired up.
Sometimes I feel like, how is your body coping with that stress?
They need it though.
Yeah.
Like they actually
Stress junkie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stress, like football fix, they need it. Like if they're bad, people like him, and I've not met Craig, but I know people like him, where it's like if they've not got chaos, like they actually melt.
It's like, what's his name? Jake Friend. Mate, he's got the plumbing business, but he's like, he owns the business, but it's not like he's an owner. Like he's in the fucking trenches digging a hole and like just has to be doing
something stressful.
Yeah. It's just like Victor Adley's the same, just have to be doing something that's like hard.
Yeah. For me, the celebration after the 2020 grand final with St. Helens, we were in a national lockdown.
Yeah.
But the Tory government weren't playing by the rules, and neither were we.
Yeah.
So they had their lockdown parties. We had our lockdown party. I'm not going to lie. They brought in these crazy rules, right, where... So we had the grand final on the Friday. On the Wednesday, we were coming out of lockdown. But part of the rules of coming out of lockdown where you can go to the pub, but with only with people in your household, right? Which is a bizarre, like, like so you're gonna leave your house with your mates or your family and go to the pub. It's like, so that seems a bit different.
And everyone can do that.
Well, you couldn't go with a group of people. You couldn't go and book like a table of 4 with like 4 of your mates coming and sitting on this table of 4. That was banned. But you could go to the pub with people from your family, and if other people happen to be there, then so be it. Right. Here's another caveat. You had to order a substantial meal, in air quotes. Now, you could only go to the pub to have a substantial meal. That was your entrance. But once you'd finished that substantial meal, you could drink to your heart's content. So it would come out of lockdown on the Wednesday. I knew one of the owners at the pub, a pub in St. Helens, said, can we come in on Wednesday? He's like, yeah, but you know the rules, don't you? And like, you're trying to like pull a favour because, you know, thinking, well, so he's like a bit antsy about like, you know, the cops are going to be around, all these COVID cops, and people can't wait to grass you in. Like, what a way to run a government where we're all snitching on each other for being out. Ooh. Can we get 25 tables for one? He said, yeah. I said, sweet. See you there Wednesday, 25 tables for one. So we started like, you're there in one table, like sat technically on your own, and then like just opposite and diagonally across from you was another chair with a space. And that's how we got away with it. And like, we sort of said to everyone,
well,
like,
it's legal.
We weren't breaking the rules.
No.
But we said to it, I think we had our presentation night after that as well. So we went in the day to the pub and you're like, like, right, lads, we need to be careful here because, you know, first day of lockdown, like, we don't want to be making a scene. Like, let's just be really respectful. Just, you know, sit. You know, there's going to be other people around as well. Everyone's excited to get out. There's going to be all these other families or households together in the pub, not mingling with each other. So we need to sort of conform to these government regulations, even though we know they're fucking bollocks. Like, let's just do it. And then obviously after
that went well.
After like, you know, 3, 4, 5 pints. Mate, it was like the fucking away end, and they were all like, "Oh, in the Saints, go Martin, go!" Like just singing, and yeah, I think by that time in December 2000, people had had enough of the bullshit lockdowns, and yeah, lots of family joined in, and yeah, obviously, you know, thoughts go out there to anybody that lost a loved one through COVID and all that. But you know, people die every day, and even the sufferers. You got to think about the sufferers of long COVID. Yeah.
Jack Howard.
Who's that?
Jack Howard. He's a Melbourne Storm player. He fucking missed half the preseason because he was suffering from long COVID.
That is a bullshit. You can't run that. He had long. He faked long COVID. Fake, mate, what a great excuse.
I don't think it was fake. He genuinely believed in his heart that he had long COVID because he has asthma and he got COVID. And then he's like, "Mate, I can't breathe." It's like, "Because you're unfit."
Mate. Sorry, coach. Matt, I've got that long COVID, haven't I? Anyway, last question from S.P.I.8.7 on Instagram. I think that's right. How many ducks would it take to kill a fully grown
I
rhino?
just don't think it'd be possible.
I don't think there's a finite amount of ducks.
No.
It's even with, you know, the comprehension that the ducks
They don't even have teeth.
Like, I don't think there's a way that.
No.
I think it's just even if they could comprehend their mission. Not taken down. You're gonna have to basically wait for it to sleep.
But then what are you gonna do? Because it's not like they don't have tough skin.
The only way you could do it is if one of the ducks were gonna be the kamikaze duck and eat something poisonous, and then be eaten in a sort of parasitical, like a parasite. Like,
yeah.
have you ever seen those?
But they're not going to get eaten because a rhino's a herbivore, isn't it?
Is it?
I think. Is that true?
Surely nothing as big as a rhino's got to eat some meat.
What? Isn't that? I'm pretty sure hippos are herbivores as well. They just fuck animals up that come near them.
Yeah, but you know what? I've listened to a podcast on mindset. The
mindset of a duck?
No, someone was talking about a horse, and they said, "Oh, I'll feed my horse a hot dog," and they said, "Oh no, horse a herbivore." Are you all right? You got cramp?
Sorry.
Mate,
Jesus
sweet.
I'm swinging my leg around, fucking cramped up.
So anyway, he said, "I'm going to give my horse a hot dog," and he goes, "Horses are herbivores." He goes, "Watch this." The horse had the hot dog, so it's about mindset. So I reckon the only way a duck could do it is if to somehow eat some poison
on his way without dying.
No, eat some poison, like a slow release poison. Get into the rhino, and then you take down yourself, and then all your brothers and sisters.
I don't think they could do it because I don't think they've got the mental capacity to figure out what a slow release poison.
Yeah.
Hey, it might not take months or years, but decades when they've finally figured out what slow release poison is.
Well, it's going to take one duck with the brains trust of a very smart human being. So that's thanks for that question. All right, Cheese. Good luck at the surgery, or no, at the surgeon or the specialist, the meeting this week, and we'll catch you next Monday to review, or not review. No, we will review
the grand
final. We're not going to preview it. We're going to review it.
We're going to review the grand final.
This is one of those words where it's like mean opposite things, but very close together.
Yeah,
it's
rehab.
Resign, resign.
Oh, that's a
better one dash changes everything. Like one dash changes it all. Like,
that's so true. Is it even a dash in there?
To re-dash sign versus resign. Like,
Look at your G's. They are fucking horrible.
Oh, mate. My writing is actually...
I write a lot of letters from the bottom.
What do you mean?
Like a lot of... like my E's. F.
What do you mean from the bottom?
It's like... I'd start at the bottom at the letter.
Oh, no. So you do that?
I never... Bro, I wasn't allowed to get my pen license when I was in primary school because I'd always write letters from the bottom.
Started from the bottom now here. All right. Well, on that information bombshell, hopefully, Cheese, you re-sign with us for next year and don't resign. But we'll catch all you guys next week. Take it easy.